Today, Sunday morning, we're going to do a lovely gentle flow, and we're going to start with a little bit of breath work. And I think you guys have done it with me before, where we've done alternate nostril breathing. And in yoga, they call it Nadi Shodhana. And it literally means that you breathe in the right nostril, breathe out the left, and then breathe in the left nostril and out the right. And what it does is it creates balance between the two sides of your body. So what's also very interesting is that your dominant nostril that you're breathing with at any given time switches about every 90 minutes. So right now, do a little test for yourself. If you just block your right nostril and breathe in and out through the left, and then block the left nostril and breathe in and out through the right. One of them probably feels like it's easier to breathe in. So right now, I can feel that my left nostril is very open. So that's obviously where the energy is right now. So that will switch throughout the day. But as we do this alternate nostril breathing, you'll probably notice an immediate difference as well. So we're going to be sitting cross-legged. I'm going to sit up on top of the plinth here. And it doesn't matter which leg you have in front. And if you would like to sit on a block or on a cushion, you're more than welcome to, just to get your lower back and your pelvis and hips and knees nice and comfortable. And then you're going to keep your left hand face down on your knee. You're going to pick up your right hand and take your index finger and middle finger, place it just lightly on that little spot just between your eyebrows. So some people call it the third eye. It's basically our area of intuition. It's one of our chakra points as well. And then just allow your eyes to softly close. Take a moment to settle into the shape of your skin. Make any final adjustments that you need to. And then placing your right thumb onto your right nostril, take a gentle inhale through the left nostril, and at the top of that breath, switch, block the left nostril with your ring finger and breathe out through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril. At the top of your breath, switch and breathe out through the left nostril. Inhale left. At the top, switch and exhale right. Inhale right. Switch and exhale left. Keep alternating sides. Breathing in your own rhythm. No strain, no forced breath. Taking 2 more rounds. Finish with an exhale through the right nostril. And when you have finished that cycle of breath, allow your eyes to stay closed, bringing your hand lightly down to rest on your right knee. Inhaling and exhaling through both nostrils. Take a moment to notice the clarity and ease of your breath. Feeling oxygen and energy fill your body with each inhale Feeling that gentle rooting into your sit bones and energy through the crown of your head with each exhale. And then allow your breath to return to a natural, easy rhythm, keeping your eyes softly closed. Just let your hands float up off your knees. Turn the palms of your hands to face towards each other. Start to bring your hands closer together, but take your time and start to feel the energy, the light, the warmth between the palms of your hands. And then just hold it there for a moment. Just feeling that layer of energy that wraps around your physical body. And then pressing the palms of your hands in towards each other. Rubbing your hands lightly, quickly. And then cup your hands just over your eyes. Blink your eyes softly open. And then reaching both hands all the way up. So you get a little bit of a stretch along the sides of your body. And we're just going to start to do a gentle twist, placing one hand lightly in front of you, one hand behind, and up you come. And a little bit of a twist over to the other side. So it doesn't matter which way you're going. And notice how your breath carries you through that twist and that rotation. So it's an inhale and an exhale. One more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. And reaching both hands all the way up. And now you're going to put your hands in front of you. I'm turning sideways, otherwise I'm going to fall off this plinth. And just start to walk a little bit forward. Make sure that your hands are supporting you wherever you are. If you're super duper flexible, you could come down onto the forearms, but don't strain into it. Just allow yourself to get a little bit of a hinge from the hips, a little bit of a stretch and a release around the pelvis and around the lower back. Softening into the back of your neck a little bit. And on your next breath, walk your hands all the way up again, rolling your spine upright. Bring your knees up and together. Stretch your legs all the way out long. So you're going to have your legs just slightly separated. Support yourself with your hands beside you. And then you're going to point one toe as you flex the other. And then alternate. So we're just starting to move the circulation through the legs. Little point and flex. Pumping the blood all the way from the calf muscles, the feet, up the legs and back to the heart. And then let both feet relax. Give your knees a little shake. You're going to sit cross-legged again, but make sure that you bring the other foot into the front. Let's see if I can remember which one. Now I'm going to do right leg in front. So sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, reach up. And on your breath again, coming into that gentle twist. Opening up across the shoulders. Remember, you can do this sitting on a cushion as well if it feels better for you. You can even do it sitting in a chair. One more time. Coming all the way up. And again, bring your hands all the way in front of you. And then just allow yourself to walk forward, always supporting yourself. And then just settle there, finding the stretch that feels best for you. Taking one more breath in and out. And then walking hands all the way back up. Help yourself lift your knees, stretching one leg out, other leg out. Once again, hands beside you, sitting up nice and tall, and we go into our circulation drill. Point and flex. Point and flex. So it's also quite interesting. So many people wear shoes all the time and never really actually work those deep muscles of the feet, those intrinsic muscles. So some people actually start to cramp when they point. So just keep it nice and gentle. And then relax, give both knees a little bit of a shake. And then once again, bend your knees, bringing your pelvis forward. You're going to have your knees and feet slightly separated and hook your hands around the fronts of your knees. Sitting up nice and tall. On your breath, curl your tail under, feeling that rounding of your spine. Notice if there's any clicks that are happening, and then just hang there for a moment if you can. So you really feel that you are holding onto your knees and everything else is just suspended. Take a little breath and bend your elbows to pull yourself back up. Sit up nice and tall. And again, curl your tail under. Lean back into it. Take a little breath. Exhale, bending elbows. Roll up. And sit up nice and tall. One more time. Using your breath, curling back. Pause for a moment. Inhale to the back of your ribs. And then bend elbows, pull forward. Lifting up. This time, put your hands just beside your hips and then roll yourself down using your arms to support yourself and coming all the way onto your back. So bring your feet just a little bit closer in towards you. Take your hands and reach them up towards the sky. Turn your palms to face each other and bring your hands together so that the palms of your hands are connected. Start to reach one hand up towards the ceiling. Your elbow is straight, so your shoulder has to lift up. Then release and slide your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now keep alternating. So it's almost a feeling like you're rolling a cigar between the palms of your hands. And because your elbows are straight, the shoulders are lifting up. And because the shoulders are lifting, you can feel the ribs are rolling from side to side. And if you can imagine for a moment that your lungs are sinking into the one side of your ribs, and then as you roll to the other side, they sink to the other side. So you're getting a gentle movement internally as well around your lungs and your heart. And feel that rotation around the thoracic spine. And then come all the way to center so that your fingertips are lined up, lengthen along the back of your neck slightly, and then open your arms wide, breathing in. Make sure that you're not resting your arms, and then exhale as you lift your arms up, connecting each fingertip to partner. Inhale, expand. And exhale. Taking two more, breathing in. Breathing out. One more time, breathing in. Open your arms, and this time you're going to stay here with your arms out to the side in a T position. If it's uncomfortable, feel free to move your arm position here. Pelvic curl. Tilting your hips, get that little imprint first. Start rolling up into your bridge position. And then when you reach the top, double check that you're not straining your back. You really want to feel that you're lifting from the base of your pelvis. Get your bum cheeks working. And then ripple down through your spine, feeling the imprint into the lower back. And allow your pelvis to sink at the bottom. And again, tilting hips. Rolling up. Getting that little squeeze into the base of your pelvis. Hold it there. Take a breath in. Relax the back of your neck. And place yourself one little section at a time. And release. We're going to do 2 more. Tilting hips. I want you to feel or imagine what is happening to your lungs. So as you come up, maybe you can feel like your lungs are almost like rolling up towards the top section of your ribs. And then as you come back down, almost visualize that your lungs are settling themselves back down towards the lower section of your rib cage. Last one, tilting hips. So the reality is your lungs are pretty much held in place with connective tissue and fascia, but you just want to imagine that they are slipping and sliding around, and there's a beautiful, easy movement here. And then release your pelvis to neutral, and you hold it there. Now simply bend your elbows, so you're kind of doing robot arms, and we're going to take one hand backwards and one hand forwards. And then switch. So it's a robot dance here. And notice on your own body if it's easier for you to take your hand up towards your ear, or is it easier for you to take your hand down towards your pelvis? And then maybe also notice on your own body, is it easier on the right or easier on the left? So this movement, yes, we're moving the hands, but it actually comes from the shoulder, and there's a group of muscles in there that make up the rotator cuff. And some of them, 2 of them are external shoulder rotators, and one of them is an internal rotator. So oftentimes, we might be tight or weak around those areas. Let's do 2 more. Keep it nice and even. Relax the back of your neck. Bring both hands straight up and then reach up towards the sky. Interlace your fingers. Hands go underneath your head for support. So again, give yourself a little wiggle. Lengthen out, create some space, and then float your elbows up and get your lower back in a happy place. Nod your chin. On your breath, come up into a chest lift, looking through your knees, and then inhale to release your ribcage down. Use your breath and releasing down. Taking a few more. Last 2. Feel the upper abdominals draw you forward. No tension on the neck, no pulling on your head. Last one. Breathe out. And releasing all the way back. Pause here for a moment. Press the elbows back, giving yourself a little bit of release around the rib cage, around the front of the shoulders. And then bring your hands all the way up. And we scissor the arms. One hand goes overhead. One hand comes forward. So it's a very similar movement to what we just did with the robot arms. But now we're allowing the other muscles around the shoulders to work as well, to find a little bit of a stretch. So a little bit more of the superficial muscles now are also working along with the rotator cuff. Notice if one side is easier than the other. Last 2, keep breathing. Last 1. Bringing both hands all the way up. Turn your palms forward. Bring them down and take your hands a little bit wider than your mat. I'm just going to wrap my fingers around the edge of the bed here. Toe heel your feet together. And then pick up your right thigh and cross it over your left thigh. Start to roll your legs to the left and look towards the right. How far does it feel okay for you to go with control so that you aren't hurting or straining into the lower back? And then breathe out as you pull back to the center. Pause at the top for a moment and then bring both thighs up towards your chest. So your hip flexors and lower abs are working. And then you're going to place your left foot back down with control. Roll your knees to the left again. Turn your head and look to the right, keeping the right shoulder down, by the way. And exhale, narrow the waist, pull all the way back, and then bring both knees up and release them down. One more time, taking your knees to the left, look to the right. Exhale. Bring your knees up. This time, stay here. Put your hands onto your knees. And then if you want to increase the stretch, slide your hands down a little bit towards the ankles. Get a nice grip there so that you can get a stretch into the right deep bum cheek, that piriformis. And it always helps to breathe when you're in an uncomfortable position. Just giving you a moment to rest into it, sink into it a little bit deeper maybe. And then place your hands just on the mat beside you and lower your left foot down towards the floor again. Now hug your right knee in towards your chest, hang on to it. Slip your hands behind that leg, flex the right ankle, and on your breath, stretch up, hamstring release, and bend your knee in again. 3 more. And release. 2 more. Try to keep your neck and shoulders easy. Keep your pelvis grounded. 1 more time. Release down, stay here for a moment, circle your ankle, change direction, circle the other way, and bring yourself back into a flexed foot. Stretch your leg up and curl your forehead towards your knee. Release back down, lower your head and shoulders. And again, tuck your chin in, you're stretching the back line of the body. And release. Last 2. And release. Last 1. And release. Circle the ankle. Change direction. And placing that foot all the way down. Place your hands in a low V. Pick up your left thigh, cross it over. Roll your knees to the right this time. Look towards the left. How far does this side want to go? And exhale, narrow the waist and you pull, 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 pull all the way back to the center. And again, rolling knees to the side. Look to the left, chest is open, and breathe it out. Obliques are working to pull you back. Stay there, lifting your knees up. Nice control. And then placing that right foot all the way down. Stay there, rolling your knees to the right. Look to the left. Exhale, come back to the center, using abdominals. Lifting your knees up Hip flexors are working. Control the movement, taking that right foot down again. Last time, roll your knees to the side, look to the left. And then exhale back to the center. Bringing your knees all the way up. Stay here this time, hands on your knees. Bring yourself into a stretch that feels good for you on that left side. Keep breathing. And then on your next breath, let go. Put your hands down and then lower your foot down with control. And then hug your left leg in towards you. Hands go behind the thigh, flex the foot, and up we go. Hamstring release, stretch, and down you come. And again, keep breathing, stretch, and in you come. Last two. Last one. And release. Just circle the ankle 2 times in one direction and then change, go the other way. Now stretch the leg and lift your head towards your knee. Release down. As you curl forward, get that rounding of the ribs and hopefully a little release between the shoulder blades there. And down. Last two. So all those muscles, rhomboids, all the muscles that attach underneath the scapula. See if we can get them to soften a little bit, get a little stretch. And release back. And then twirl your ankle. And change direction, twirl the other way. And then I want you to hug both knees in towards your chest. Maybe do a little bit of a rocking action from side to side. And then bring yourself to center. Slip your hands behind your knees. You're going to bring yourself up into a tight little ball shape. Stay there. And then start kicking your feet. So you're using momentum of your legs to rock. So in our classic rolling like a ball, we don't kick the feet. Today we're doing a little variation to make it lovely and easy. Last two. Kick yourself up and hold it. See if you can stay in a balanced position. Bring your hands out. Just reach them forward and hold it here. Find balance. Notice all those muscles around the lower abs that are having to work. And then you're going to place your feet all the way down. So scoot back. Straightening your legs all the way out. Pick up your right foot. Just cross it over. And this should feel relatively easy because we did that gluteal stretch a second ago. Flexing this foot, that should feel relatively easy because we stretched the hamstrings. And then use your hand to prop yourself up. Left arm reaches, and let's just come into a gentle twist. So you're going to hook your elbow, and then remember that it's the breathing that guides us into the twist. And this should feel relatively easy because we did a bit of spiraling at the very beginning of the session. We've done a little bit of rotation of the spine a few seconds ago as well. So we're still not forcing it, but hopefully your body is easing into this. Taking one more breath in, release and unwind. Uncross that leg, stretch it out. Left foot steps over. Make sure you've got your foot flat. Get your bum cheeks grounded, flex the right foot. Left hand goes behind you for support. Right hand reaches, and we start to spiral. Hooking elbow. And then breathing. Nothing crazy today. Just releasing, connecting, feeling what's going on with you. And then on your next breath, unwind, coming all the way up, and just stretch both legs out. So turn to lie on your right side. Make a little pillow with your arm, or you can actually put a pillow there if you need one. And straighten both your legs out long. Fingertips are light on the ground in front of your belly button. Chin up, shoulders down. Make sure that you've got yourself nicely stacked. And then squeezing your legs together, lift both your legs up and feel how those obliques are connecting on the left top side. And then release it down. And again, lifting up. If for whatever reason you feel that your lower back is straining or taking over, then please just roll this top hip backwards a tiny bit, like a centimeter, so that it forces the workload into the abdominals, the obliques. Keep energy through the crown of your head, energy through your feet. And we're going to do 2 more. One more time. Now hold it here. Your bottom leg comes down and then squeezes up again. Bottom leg down and squeezes up. So keep it going. And you're probably going to feel that there's like a little bit of tension on the oblique, maybe on the side of the hip. That's perfect. Bring your awareness down to the inner thigh of that right leg. See if you can wake it up. So it's great if your feet touch, but if your feet don't touch, it doesn't matter. It's more about getting the work to the top inner thigh. Last 2. Last 1. Squeeze up and hold it. Now just test your balance for a moment. Bringing that top arm up. We breathe in. And then exhale. Everything comes down. Do a little bit of a bend with your knees. And you're going to place your hand now onto the shelf of your hip. Take your top leg, stretch it out. And I want you to flex your foot so there's energy out through your heel now. Make sure that you've got your obliques working on the top and on the bottom. Make sure that you have your leg lifted at the height of your hip. It's so tempting to let the leg drop, yeah? You're going to keep it there. Now, this is tiny. Let your foot hinge a little bit forward, not just your foot. Let your hip hinge a little bit forward, so you're shortening the hip. And then take your leg back through the start position and go a little bit behind you. So now you're opening the hip. So we just keep going. Tiny forwards and tiny backwards. And now the real trick is to do this movement without letting your lumbar spine, your lower back, move around. So you've got to keep your pelvis and your lower back stable and do a little bit of a swinging action forwards and backwards. Working hip flexors to the front, working hip extensors, that would be your bum cheeks and hamstrings, to the back. Last 2. Surprising amount of work, yeah? Last 1. Bring your leg back, hold it, point your toe, bend your knee, and just give your hips a little bit of a rub. So now, bring your knees up quite high. So the reason we want the knees tucked up high is because it actually gives a little bit of a stretch to the lumbar spine, so you don't feel like you're straining at any point. Cradle the back of your neck. Left arm comes out in front of you. We're going to do thoracic rotation. Lift your arm up, look up, and then open up across your chest and your heart, all the way back you go. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths in and out. Allow yourself to melt backwards. Last inhale and exhale. Lifting your arm up and all the way to the front. Very nice. Press yourself up. Tuck your knees all the way in towards you at the front. I want to make sure I don't fall off the bed. And once again, hold that rolling like a ball shape. And if you can, let go with the arms. And again, connecting into those lower abs. You can probably feel the left hip working quite hard after the exercises we just did now. And then release, swing your feet over to the other side. So now you're going to be lying on your left side. Make a little pillow. Get your legs out nice and long. Fingertips on the ground. And just get yourself set up for sideline obliques. Legs are glued together. And we exhale and lift. Releasing down. Exhale and lift. Keep going at your own pace. Make sure you're not taking strain into the lower back. You want to get the weight loading onto the obliques at the side. Energy through your crown. We're going to take 2 more. Let's take 1 more. Lift up and hold it here. Now the bottom leg goes down and squeeze up. Down and lift. Keep controlling the movement. Keep focusing on the obliques on the top and that little side bum stabilizing you. And the work is coming from that inner thigh. Last one. Squeeze up and hold it. Find your balance. Challenge yourself, reaching up and releasing everything down. Nicely done. Do a little bit of a bend with the knees. Hand goes onto the shelf of your hip. Top leg reaches all the way out. And then flex the foot. Stay there for a moment to make sure that you've got your alignment. Make sure you haven't collapsed that top leg. And now, tiny movements. Start small. You can always go bigger. Little hinging forward from the hip and extending backwards. Little forward and little back. And keeping stability through the torso. So, you know, it sometimes actually helps as well if you put your hand into your lower back, because you can feel if there's shifting or moving around in the lumbar spine then. Hip flexors working as you bring it to the front. Hip extensors working as you take your leg back. And because you're keeping your leg lifted, that little side bum should be switching on as well. Taking 2 more. Taking 1 more. Hold it there. Point your toe, bend your knee, and give it a little bit of a rub. All right, now bring your knees right up. Get that stretch into your lower back. Right arm forward, 1 thoracic rotation. Lifting your arm, look up. And then open up across the chest. All the way back you go. 3 breaths in and out. And up you come, and all the way to the front. So from here, you're going to turn onto your stomach, and legs are going to be together, and I want you to poke your elbows up towards the ceiling and place your hands just underneath your shoulders. Hover the tip of your nose and just zip up the inner thighs. So immediately when you squeeze your heels together, your inner thighs, there'll be like a natural tightening up of the gluteals. So that's just going to help you anchor your pelvis without overworking. Create a little bit of space for your spine. Lift your eyeline. And then come up into a baby cobra. Stay for a moment. Test if you can lift your hands up, because you don't want to push with your hands. You want your back muscles to hold you. Put your hands down, and then lower your chest and hover your nose. And we're going to go again. Lifting eyeline. Up you come, sending your heart forward. Now notice how your shoulder blades squeeze together. And you can always do a little squeeze with the elbows when you have your hands in this position. And then releasing gently down. Keep zipping up your inner thigh. 2 more times. Lifting up. Little baby cobra. Send your heart forward and create space. And then releasing all the way down. Now this is the last one. Squeeze your heels together. Zip up the inner thigh. Up you come into a little baby cobra. Stay here. And simply turn your head to look over the right shoulder. And then through the center and turn your head to look over the left shoulder. 2 more times. Turn to look over the right shoulder. So your head should be freely movable. Turn to look over the left shoulder. Come back to the center. Hover your hands 1 more time. Squeezing the scapula together. Place hands down. Lower chest. And relax. Push yourself up onto all fours. So you're going to come onto your hands and onto your knees. I'm just going to tuck my shirt in. And stay here for a moment with your fingers spread out. And if you're comfortable to close your eyes, close them completely. Otherwise, you can just soften your gaze. And you just want to feel the connections of your hands, your knees, and the tops of your feet to the ground. And then feel the rest of your body suspended. Notice your breath. And try to find as much ease in this 4-point position as possible. Blink your eyes open as we start to move into a cat stretch. Start by tucking your tail under, rounding through lumbar spine, middle spine, upper spine, and tucking your chin all the way in. Stay here, breathing in. And then exhale, release your tail out. And let's start to move towards a little bit of extension of the spine. So your tail, your heart, and your eyeline come up. And again, using your breath, round. Lifting through your belly, pushing away from your arms. And again, reaching your tail out. Finding that gentle extension. And let's do 1 more time. Rounding your spine, and this time stay here. Sit your hips halfway back. Hold it here. And let's do gentle pulses. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Come all the way to the center. And then lengthen just to neutral and hold it. Find the connections of hands, knees, and feet. Floating your body, suspended. And then we're going to do a hovering of the knees. But today, we're not tucking the toes. Today, we're going to keep the feet relaxed out. Take a breath in, and on your exhale, start pushing your hands and the tops of your feet into the ground. And if that's as far as you go, that's great. But if you're able to lift the knees up slightly, lift the knees. Finding the weight bearing through all the joints of your body. And then releasing down and tuck your toes under. Now start moving your hips towards your feet and forward again. And again, press back. So we're taking the pressure off our wrists and we're stretching the knuckles of the toes. 2 more. 1 more. Come center, hold it. And now we do our normal hovering of the knees. Connecting hands, connecting feet. See if you can lift your knees up. If not, you just keep your knees on the floor. Just get that weight-bearing sensation. Keep breathing. And then slowly release knees. Release the feet. Reach your left arm out to the side and coming into a thread the needle. Settling your head and your shoulder. Sliding the right hand all the way out. Stay here for just a few more moments. Bringing your right hand in. Come all the way up, extending the arm out. And then left hand roots to ground. Right hand, arm to the side. Coming into your thread the needle. Settle shoulder and ear, and then stretch that left arm all the way out. Bringing your hand back in, up you come, reaching out to the side and placing your hand back down. One more time, tuck your toes under. Let's go into a downward facing dog. You guys know that I always start with knees bent, so I can do that little pedaling of the heels. And for me, that is the best release up through the calf muscles. And then send both heels down. Taking one more inhale and exhale. And now lower your knees to the ground. Open your knees wide. And we're going to finish today's class in a resting position. So we're going to be here for a while. So give yourself any props that you need for knees, for hips, for head. And I'm going to keep my elbows quite bent. So that feels easy for my neck and shoulders. But if you want to walk your hands all the way forward and do a full stretch, then by all means. And just connecting that third eye, that little spot between your eyebrows, connecting it to the ground, or perhaps putting a cushion or support under your head if you need. Allow your eyes to soften, to close. And just as we started with our breath, allow each inhale and each exhale to travel through your nose. Noticing the ease of your breath. Finding balance between right and left. Just allowing your breath to slow down. Notice the weight of your body, the softening and release of your joints as you breathe. Stay in this resting space for just a few more moments. And on your next breath, slowly start to walk your hands towards your knees, supporting yourself as you unravel your spine, coming all the way up, placing your hands just in front of your knees, bring your knees a little closer together, and then just tuck your toes under, so that when you push into your hands, you can actually roll over your feet, and then bring your hands closer towards you, maybe even on your fingertips, and then start lifting your hips up so that you can root into your feet, relaxing the back of your neck. I'm just going to come off the floor, off the mat, and then start unraveling your spine, coming all the way up, lifting up nice and tall. Take a moment to just roll your shoulders back and around. Ah, fantastic. How do you feel? All good.